Hello and welcome to Coach Please. This is season 2, episode 1. I'm Dan. It's Monsolite. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
I am well. Really looking forward to the next round of episodes to bring value to our coaching audience. And today we'll be talking
Today.
about the
Yes.
niche, the ever-present niche, and
Yes.
picking the niche too soon and hating it.
Yeah, so what we love to do in every episode is talk about not what goes on in a coaching session, but what is happening to coaches outside the session. And so I'm going to share a little bit about something that I fell privy to in 2021. So as we all know, coaching has been around for many years, and I was actually doing some research on this, Dan, that around 2019, 2020, niches were being talked about in the coaching world, but it wasn't until 2021 when all of a sudden in the coaching industry, it was being pushed everywhere through coaching schools, everywhere that you looked in coaching. If you didn't have a niche, you were going to fail as a coach. I mean, that was basically what was being said to everybody. And guess what? In 2021, during that exact time, I decided to take a private practice and do coaching privately with private clients. So here I was thinking, if I don't have a niche, I'm gonna fail. So what did I do? I hired a marketing team, a great marketing team, and we sat around a table discussing what my niche was gonna be. Now, I hadn't really taken on a lot of private clients. I had clients through internal jobs and had been doing a lot of coaching. So here I am trying to develop a niche. And we come up with this great niche around time. I had a great name, the Time Maven. I had the most incredible website. I am not kidding you. I'm not over exaggerating. My website was a piece of art that took me forever to take down. It was more painful to walk away from that website than it was the actual niche. And at the end of all this, a year and a half later, I was like, I hate this niche. I hate anything around time. I was reading, listen, I have issues, but my issues are not time management and they're not discipline. Like, those are not my issues. And so here I was in a niche around that. I was reading books like The Atomic Habit, all these different uh, coaching, not coaching, but all these different self-help books, which I would have never read. Like, those are not books I read because I don't have that issue. So I found myself reading books that I would never be reading. I found it really hard to talk about time that wasn't boring. It was really challenging. So I had all these red flags, and yet I stuck with it. It's my niche. I even joined, I won't say what program, but I joined a very expensive, we're talking 10, 15, $20,000 program to build out my own program around my niche, to build a funnel, to get clients, to have Facebook ads. And sure enough, finally, a year and a half later, I'm like, what am I doing? I don't even like this niche. And I had to walk away from it all.
Remember that niche for you? I remember the branding, that like the 1950s style artwork that was very accessible. I remember that phase very well because
Yeah.
we were working with the same marketing person at that time who I also wound up in a niching place that I wasn't happy with after that experience.
And to say the least, like for me looking back, I just really, the schools were really pushing out you have to have a niche versus go coach 100 people and then figure out what that niche is. Like I feel like the niche comes to you, now that I look back versus you trying to define a niche. I mean, we can't be stuck in a box. Um,
Yeah,
and so
and
whether
I
it was the marketing team or not, I don't know. I think the big missing piece is we are being forced to find a niche when we haven't even really just gone and done the work, which is the reps of the coaching.
yeah, and when it comes like the niche, it can it becomes a way of targeting your message, and there's some truth to it, but I agree with you. Like, get the experience and figure out what really lights you up. And even when I've worked with other coaches in this area, there's this exercise we do that, like, when you think about your ideal client, and I'm shifting the wording here from niche to ideal client, where because niche could be very broad in the number of people, ideal clients, that singular person, like who is that one person? And when we really dive into that, majority of the time, it's us at an earlier phase of life. Like, I really wish I would have known this information then that I know now. And I think as starting out, it's helpful to have that little bit of a North Star, but that doesn't mean that I'm only going to help that individual or individuals like that person. Um, and the targeting is going to change over time. I've noticed it with my practice. I started with one and I still write to the same person, which is me at 38. But the way I speak to that person has evolved because I've evolved over the past 10 years.
Yeah, so one, it's going to evolve because hopefully as a coach, you're evolving. And two, would you say that it's safe if you are a newer coach, just go coach? Because I mean, I don't think, even if you think it's going to be in well-being or it's going to be in health, great. But I don't think you're really going to know what you want to coach until you start coaching a lot of different people and you start to realize what you don't want to be coaching.
And even realizing who you don't want to be coaching. I've had that
Yeah.
experience. Like get a breadth of experience and start to explore and break down after sessions what went well, what didn't, and the flow of the conversation with this particular individual who maybe had a solid goal. How is that different than somebody who comes in and is kicking the tires and being a looky loo on what's this coaching thing about?
Yeah. And so for all those coaches out there who don't have a niche yet, would you say don't be so hard on yourself? It'll come with time.
Yeah, just go practice, have a sense of what lights you up. And if there's a certain topic or certain focus, but don't feel like you have to dial it in immediately. It's you can see the stars through the clouds. You'll finally see the one that's really your target, and allow yourself to have fun because what might happen, you might think your niche is one thing, and like you experienced, like I'm not happy with this, or you'll start here and you'll find it's something that's really close to it that you never considered, but it just happened to pop up when you were in conversation with somebody. And then your heart really lit up with like, oh, this is the thing that I really want to help the world with.
I love that. I love that. And then for all of those people who are pivoting, just know that it's natural. As you evolve, your niche is probably going to evolve and it's going to change. And you can constantly be pivoting, I think, if you want to be.
Mhm.
I think it
You know,
really is about sometimes coaches, sorry to interrupt you really quick, but I think sometimes coaches get so caught up on what their message is or what their niche is. Why don't they just focus on coaching the person in front of them, right?
because we get so driven on the business side of it, which is important, but you can you can build a business and not have a focus, or you can have a focus and build a business. And so much of the business stuff gets promoted. Think about all the Instagram and Facebook and even now LinkedIn ads out there are about having a 6 figure, 7 figure. I'm surprised no one's really pushed out the 8 figure business. We get so drawn into that there's a tendency to forget about the skill and the craft and the art of where we're really making the difference. And that's with the individual in front of us.
Yeah, exactly. And also, that makes me think about if you're in a niche that you don't like, or you're in a niche that you're just doing for the money, it's going to be energetically, it's going to show up. You may not think it will, but it will. And we're going to be covering more of those kinds of ideas as we go through the season. But, definitely, I probably wasn't getting as many clients as I wanted to be because I wasn't aligned with it. I wasn't really connecting with it. So.
And as you said it there, it just reminds me of being in any soul sucking job that you're just doing for the money, because I've been in them too. And now that it's your job and you're the boss, why put yourself through that? Um, you have the freedom to create. Are you going to be stuck in chasing the money, or are you going to be stuck in living the purpose? And there's work to be done there. Not saying there isn't, but you're going to enjoy it a lot more if you put your time and energy into the thing you love.
That's great. So, for all of our coaches out there, what is your last sort of takeaway to give them around so that they don't do what I did, which is getting into a niche that you hate?
It what comes up is a memory of talking to my dad after I had gone back to school as a non-traditional student to get my bachelor's at age 30. And I had completely changed the industry I was in, from going from graphic art and design and printing to getting my bachelor's in broadcasting. And I wound up back in that industry 6 months later because I can make a lot more money there. See where this is going? Um, and I'm talking to him after this. Now this move has led me to living in another part of the country. Like everything I wanted to happen happens, and I'm feeling good. Talking to my dad one week, yeah, but you're not doing what you went to school for. That's a really limited way to look at it, because I wouldn't be doing what I was doing if I hadn't had those experiences of learning broadcasting, of taking that break and getting a new perspective. And do his way of looking at it is, you went to school, you do what you went to school for, otherwise it's a waste of money. Where I looked at it as more of that liberal arts education of, I got all this information and now I can take all of the breadth of me and bring it to what I'm doing. And I think that applies to coaches as well. Get as much and as wide of an education, get as much and as wide of education or experience as you can with clients, and then let it filter to what really brings, because the more experiences you have, the more you're going to be able to bring to the room when you're with somebody.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's great. So if you loved what you heard, please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Have you ever been in a niche that you hated? Tell us what it is. And we'll see you next week on
All
episode
right.
2.
Looking forward to it. See ya.
See ya. Bye.